It's Christmas time. Oh, hello, everybody. Forgive the way my hair looks tonight. I was in the pool and I didn't realize it looked so hideous until we started rolling. I'm here because today I am reviewing Pretty Woman, the musical, which I saw on its last night at the Dolby Theater in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Hollywood, if you will. I've told you before, the Dolby Theater is home of the Academy Awards. And look, even though it was July 3rd when I saw it, we were lucky enough that they just kept the rainbow logo for the playbills because I guess they were like, we're not going to throw out all these good rainbow playbills for the month of June for Pride, so we still got to get a rainbow playbill, which is so nice, I always think. Now, Pretty Woman the musical was on Broadway. When was it on Broadway? In 2018. It started in Chicago in 2018 at the Oriental Theater, and then it transferred to Broadway. And yes, and it played until the summer of 2019. You know what's weird? The show lasted a year. I didn't even realize that it had played that long on Broadway, but it did. Um, and at first, it didn't even include the song "Oh, Oh, Pretty Woman" by Roy Orbison, which to me, if you're gonna have Pretty Woman the musical, that's the song that people are waiting to hear. And I guess they didn't have the rights to use it at first. According to Wikipedia, which knows everything, the show didn't include Oh Pretty Woman until June 19th, 2019, during the curtain call. So they don't use it in the show. They do a funny thing. You sort of hear the chords I think at the end of Act 1, and then at the beginning of Act 2, a guy comes out, spoiler alert, and it's sort of like diddle diddle ding, and the audience is clapping, and then the other guy that's like the narrator type, Happy Man, they call him. The one that says, "What? Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream?" Um, well, he comes out and stops him and says, and everybody's like, "Oh," and then he says, "Okay, later, later," and they do play it. But okay, so what did I think of Pretty Woman, the musical? It wasn't my favorite, but I will say it was better than what I expected it to be. Now, I've heard the music before. The music is by Brian Adams, who we all love, and Jim Valance. They do the music and the lyrics. And the book is by Gary Marshall and J.F. Lawton, based on the script and the movie Pretty Woman by J.F. Lawton and Gary Marshall. Now, to me, the show is, okay, it was a classic movie from 1990. We all loved Pretty Woman. Actually, it really wasn't my favorite movie on the planet. Of course, Julia Roberts, star power, and that smile, and Richard Gere, so dashing and handsome, and together they make such a magical couple. But that was 1990, and even then it was a little icky that this guy picks up this hooker from Hollywood Boulevard and then they fall in love. Yes, it's a fairy tale, but for what fairy? I mean, it's a little twisted if when you start thinking about it, and a little icky. And now that we've passed the time of the Me Too movement, we've all gotten a little more woke, and we're just a little more aware of things, and it's like, now the show is still set back in those days. I would have liked to have had a little more references to the time. If there were some, I must have missed them, because I would have liked to have really gotten into what was going on in the world in 1990, so that I know that we're in the 90s and not in today. Um, but yeah, that's just me. So it was a little dated without being too aware of its dates. I mean, you could just tell it was a show that probably should have come out like 10 years ago, maybe. You know, I love, like I've told you, I love getting a real playbill and not one of those bigger programs like they give us down at the Amundsen. So here's Pretty Woman. Look, there's an ad for Dear Evan Hansen. Speaking of the Amundsen. But yes, Pretty Woman. Here's the insides of the playbill. Now, what was most exciting, the big draw. Here's the cast list. Feel free to pause it and look for your name or the name of the people that you're big fans of. The big draw here is that Adam Pascal of Rent is playing Edward, the Richard Gere role. There he is. And Olivia Valli is playing Vivian, who is the Pretty Woman. Jessica Crouch is playing Kit, her good friend. There she is. And Kyle Taylor Parker is playing Happy Man slash Mr. Thompson, who runs the hotel. And I should say that Matthew Stock is playing that no good lawyer of Edwards. What's his name? Philip Stuckey. Now, all the cast is very good. Here they all are. Sorry for the glare, everybody. And here are the musical numbers. Feel free to pause it. There were some catchy songs. I liked Together Forever, which ends the show. There were some really nice ballads. You're Beautiful as ends Act 1. I like Welcome to Hollywood. So the thing that, when I first heard the cast recording, and this says it's set in the 80s. It says setting Hollywood, Once Upon a Time in the 1980s. I thought it was even 1990 since the movie came out in 1990. But yeah, I really didn't get the 80s from this, but maybe. And they've added a little insert for new actors who have joined the company, which is always nice. Welcome. Would be so exciting traveling in a touring company. Now, I must say, the acting is top notch. The choreography, it's all wonderful. Who's the choreographer? Yes, so Jerry Mitchell is the director and the choreographer. Now, I didn't know if they would still have the actual Broadway choreographer and director listed since it's the tour, but I guess of course they do. So Jerry Mitchell is a great director and choreographer. My problem with the show wasn't the direction or the choreography or the actors. It was the script. It was the story. I didn't think they did enough to change it. If you're going to do a musical version of something, you shouldn't just make it. Like Tootsie changed a lot of stuff. I wasn't overly crazy with a lot of the changes they made, but Pretty Woman didn't feel like they changed much at all. They just threw songs in there. And I don't know. I thought that, I don't get why this girl, who is so beautiful and so, sure, you can dress her up and throw money at her. Well, throw money to make her look like $1 million. But I just didn't get that this girl was a hooker. It's like, how did she fall to such a lowly place? And she alluded to the fact that she had made mistakes and her friends sort of got her into this world and it was an easy way to make some fast money. Oh, they were trying to raise money for their rent, which was only, they owed the landlord $300. So quaint, $300. Here's during the curtain call, and a big sign comes down and says, Pretty Woman, the musical, which is always nice. Now, the set was it was very minimal, was very blue. Look at all the blue in the background. And then, I mean, the costumes were great. But there was just a little something missing for me. Now, one of the things that was missing was I wanted to buy a window card. Now, the original window card it was on Broadway when Andy Carl was in it and Samantha Barks and Orphe. This was that poster, and I thought, that's sort of nice. And the tagline at the top says, Fall in love all over again. I just thought this was very classy. The white background. The font is, I believe that's the same font from Pretty Woman, the movie, right? And I like how it's sideways and says the musical. Now, the poster that they were selling at the touring company production looked like this. I'm like, just rose petals, and it says National Tour, prettywomanthemusical.com. I mean, it's nice, but it's just so white. And then there's no image. I mean, even this is rather generic since you don't see the faces. So I would have liked to have had this poster, and I didn't buy this one because I was like, what's with the rose petals everywhere? Now, I did buy a refrigerator magnet, and it's nice. It's very white and red and black, and it has the logo sideways like that. So, I'm happy with that purchase. But I would have liked a little more for my buck. But if you really love Pretty Woman the musical, Pretty Woman the movie, and if you really love Bryan Adams' music, I heard that a lot of the songs that he had to cut because, it's when you write a musical, people are always throwing songs out, and Bryan Adams was like, what? He wasn't used to that. So I heard that a lot of the songs that he didn't use that weren't used for the show, he put on a recording. So I guess you can find that music. But yeah, if you're a fan of the movie and of Bryan Adams, then by all means go see Pretty Woman the musical. The movie had a budget of just $14 million and it earned over $463 million in the box office. So it's no wonder that they made a musical of it. But why did they wait until 2018? And it wasn't even announced until 2014 that they were going to make a musical. So, it took a long time to do that. Seems strange. The national tour began in October of 2020. It was planned to begin October of 2020 at Providence Performing Arts Center in Providence, but of course the pandemic delayed that, so then it started at Providence on October 9th, 2021. So it's nice that their tour was only delayed 1 year. Now, you still have opportunities to see it. If you're out there in the world, look, okay, forget Portland and Seattle and Los Angeles. It's already there. July 5th through the 17th, it's in Costa Mesa, California. Then it goes to Tucson, Arizona, July 19th to the 24th. San Diego, California, July 26th through the 31st. And this is all 2022. And then Denver, Colorado, August 2nd through the 14th, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma after that. And then on to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Atlanta, Georgia, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Feel free to go online and look up these dates. And if you really want to see it now, you can just pause this and look. I like to do a service and provide the touring dates. Oh, I'm sorry, the wind is blowing this. These are short little stays, you know. They're doing so many cities. This is all the way up to Austin, Texas on January 17th, 2023. And we have the dates listed further in 2023. Dallas, Texas, and on down to Sacramento, California, May 2nd through the 7th. So plenty of opportunities anywhere, you know, across the country to see Pretty Woman the musical. I do like their tagline on this. It says, big new musical, big, huge. And a lot of the lines that we were waiting for are not in the musical. I always liked it at the opera when she says that she's gonna she almost peed her pants, and the woman's like, what? And he said, oh, she loved Pirates of Penzance. We always reference that, me and my roommate, and that wasn't in there. They do scenes from the opera that they're watching, and the singer, and I don't have her name in front of me, who does the singing, is Mwah. So, you know, that part was good, and it does have a happy ending, spoiler alert. So, Pretty Woman, I'll give it a C+, which is good. So, I didn't take Blackie because they don't allow dogs at the Dolby Theater. But one of these days I will show him the movie Pretty Woman. That's a promise, Blackie Humphrey, okay? Oh, look how excited he is about Pretty Woman. Okay, I will talk to you all soon. Sorry this is so long. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Oh, by the way, well, I'm saying goodbye, and now I'm still here. There was a girl in the audience that wore that hooker outfit, and she looked great. She had the hat, she had the little top, the red shirt tied around her, the tall, shiny boots. Yeah, so bravo to her. Okay, goodbye, everybody.